So we're back again talking about Dragon Ball Super, and this time we're talking about Jiren. After episode 127, a lot of things need to be addressed about this character in the anime, and I hope you guys know I've been quite honest about Dragon Ball Super in my videos and have kept my integrity in my opinion, and you guys know this if you've truly seen our videos. So in the Dragon Ball community, we have all admitted that Dragon Ball Super has its flaws, and unfortunately Jiren seems to have become one. According to the reaction of what's happened in this episode, how the Tournament of Power is going to end with Goku and Vegeta, let's just talk about it. Let's get started. Cue the intro. In episode 127 of Dragon Ball Super, Jiren has finally released 100% power against Goku and Vegeta, and we also understand Jiren's past now. It's quite funny how they have to write this in whilst it's at the very end of the anime and 2 minutes remain in the tournament, but hey, Belmod goes on a 3-minute backstory explaining the very generic and bland past of Jiren, but this is where everything goes wrong, it seems. Jiren was a character built in from the moment. We saw him as a powerful, noble and righteous person, but as more and more was shown of him during the tournament and now with his past being revealed, it only made his character less redeemable. The premise we received in the manga especially dictates that Jiren is someone driven by justice and cares for the people of his universe. However, the Jiren we have received so far in the anime is rash, rude and driven by power, which has made him exceptionally flawed. Since we know Jiren's past now and we know that he believes power is absolute, it is now within context to believe that he did call his comrade and friend Toppo pathetic and meant it, which makes no sense. Why? Because it's established that Jiren values power and strength over everything, but Toppo gave up his ideals to become more powerful, right? Meeting Jiren's ideals, but he still lost. This makes Jiren trash talking his friend even worse and with even worse intentions, because he's calling his friend, the person and he knows and his comrade, absolutely pathetic. It makes no sense. It kinda makes Jiren a hypocrite. On top of that, when Belmod, his own god of destruction of his universe, is telling Jiren's backstory, Jiren again disrespectfully says to his own god of destruction, "That's enough out of you, Belmod," which reinforces the idea that Jiren is stronger than Belmod, therefore he sees Belmod beneath him and that Jiren is absolute and on top. Jiren's past involves him having a typical superhero or kung fu movie backstory, which consists of his sensei and comrades dying against an opponent, and he's left all on his own trying to muster strength and get his revenge. Jiren becomes obsessed with strength and justice, wanting to defeat this opponent. He then comes to believe the ideology that the weak do not have nothing but obey the strong, that trust is worthless, and was left on his own. He kinda sounds like Sasuke Uchiha, doesn't he? Jiren is Sasuke, guys, we found out his identity. Anyways, Jiren hates his comrades because they do not want to band together again after seeing a massacre and going up against a big evil dude. But how is that their fault if they're weak, or have their own fear and their own free will to make their own decisions? Again, this made Jiren seem petty and unsympathetic to his people that he once called his friends, not being able to project himself in other people's shoes and making him seem one-dimensional. Jiren shoving down his own ideology to others and calling them betrayers because of that, it makes him seem that he isn't someone we can support. That doesn't seem like an ideal character that we want. It made Jiren seem spiteful over something that wasn't in their control or even his own. Another thing to point out that the Dragon Ball community is also mentioning, and I 100% agree, is how come this backstory or information could not be told beforehand, before the last 2 minutes and the final 3 episodes of Dragon Ball Super. Instead, what we received was a lot of comical and troll opponents having screen time, such as Universe 2. What if they provided more exposition in a different episode, or 3 to 5 minutes of airtime to Jiren whilst he was fighting Goku for the first time? Giving us his backstory before everything we have even seen so far would change the perspective of everything in this tournament and make Dragon Ball Super not seem rushed. Check out this quick re-edit for example. If they provided Jiren's backstory before Belmod invaded Jiren's mind to crush Goku, it would have changed the whole premise of Jiren's character earlier, and it would have made the fan base accept things much more easier too, because Jiren needs to establish his ideology and his absolute power over a pest like Goku. Just check this out.
ジレンの強さへの執着の理由をジレンは再び立ち上がろうとしたが、生き残った門下生に立ち上がる者がいなかった。力なき者は強者に従うしかなかったのだ。ジレンは一人になった。ジレン聞こえている。力を温存すべき時は終わった。まずは孫悟空を潰しておけ。雑魚は無視してもいい。分かった。あとは頼んだぞ、ジレン。
So obviously if we change the tone, have different music and a bit of different animation, the scene would be totally different, and I feel as though it would have been more fitting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Furthermore, Jiren using 100% power doesn't seem to have done anything. Vegeta mentioned to himself to Jiren that it was stupid for Jiren to become serious once all his friends have been knocked out, which is obviously what all of us are thinking, right? But this again builds Jiren's character in a negative way, since this shows he doesn't rely on them or respect his comrades, since he feels as though he's the most powerful in the tournament and he can put everything on his own shoulders. On top of that, Jiren going 100% power doesn't seem to have done anything according to the power scaling. He is doing the same thing he was doing before, dodging Goku, Vegeta and Android 17's attacks, which I must say Goku and Vegeta seem to go in and out of Super Saiyan Blue whenever they want. They have unlimited stamina. And Jiren is tanking ki blasts and standing and talking. Whatever else they throw at him, he sees it as a joke. And nothing new has been added to the table. Jiren is just being Jiren. Android 17 somehow damaged Jiren without being detected, or Jiren couldn't even use his instincts rather than ki to detect Android 17 is behind him, and he got hurt. Once Goku asked Android 17 what the plan is, it was very simple. It was something that wasn't even a tactic or martial arts. It's just, let's use a bigger attack. Use a bigger attack, literally. Thanks Android 17, I didn't know that. You just told me that attacking Jiren whilst he is unaware works against him. Well, isn't that what every fight and intention is for every single person in a battle ever? Attack someone once they're not unaware. Like, there is no tactics. Everything was built up for Jiren's character. Everything that he is overpowered, a brilliant fighter, he believes in justice. But it's getting ruined in subtle ways which everyone in the Dragon Ball community is noticing. There is no tactics in this fight. Goku's just gonna go Ultra Instinct and defeat him. Another thing people like to mention is the hypocrisy of Jiren's character. Since the past has been revealed and what we know now, Jiren was once weak himself and confided in others once he lost his parents, and he became stronger over time through training with his senpai, right? So for him to come to the conclusion to be arrogant and think weaklings are not worth his time, right? It's nonsense, because he was weak once himself. However, a counter argument can be made about this whole situation with Jiren's character. For example, we know for a fact Vegeta, a person with a similar backstory, losing his entire race, his father and much more, ended up with the same personality. Vegeta also believed he was from a superior race and from a superior bloodline, and that power meant everything. That strength demanded respect. but over time Vegeta changed due to his family, Goku, and a chain of events. So the argument can be made that there is literally not enough details, time, and information on Jiren to justify his plot points and characteristics. We need to know more about this dude, but I guess it's not going to happen since the anime is about to end, and this comes back to the point that the ending of Dragon Ball Super seems to be rushed. In addition, we obviously know that Goku, like he did with every other enemy, is going to change them slightly and forgive them. Something along those lines. So this is what I believe may happen with Goku against Jiren at the end of their fight. It's that typical cliche plot device that's going to be used, where Goku changes the heart of his enemy and he tells Jiren, value your teammates, power isn't absolute, power isn't everything, blah 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 blah. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.